Hey, it's Dorleen. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a YouTube Iron Crafter Challenge hop, and the item that we're supposed to be challenged it with is Flair buttons. I don't have Flair buttons, but I do have some flat bottom buttons, and I'll show you in a minute, that I've had forever, and I thought it kind of seemed like the same type of product. I'm also using a sketch from Sketch and Scrap, which I am a design team member for, so this layout is based on that sketch. But those are the buttons that I was talking about. I think those are pretty close to what a Flair button is, and I think it'll work fine for this YouTube hop. So I decided to scrapbook these pictures that we took when we went to the Madonna Inn that's over there by Pismo Beach. Now it's very vintage, very pink, very pretty, very fancy, and I'm so glad we decided to stop, which I was really surprised we did because we don't normally veer from our plans. But so I needed something very girly, and it's funny because I do have 3 granddaughters, but I don't do a lot of really girly layouts. But thankfully my daughter had this paper pack or scrapbooking kit from Authentique, and to me it worked out perfect. It had some black, lots of pink, and very vintage looking. So I took that pattern piece of paper and I cut down to 11 by 11. Now I was debating on getting the cardstock, but that white piece of paper, the pattern paper, is not very thick, so I thought, I felt fine not getting it. I just went ahead and adhered it directly onto the 12 by 12 cardstock base. So the sketch, which I'm going to show you in just a second, has this vertical strip down on that right side, and I only had that small piece of paper, but you'll see, and I've done it before, where you split that paper in half and nobody is the wiser because it's tucked under this piece. So this is an 8.5 by 11 piece of black cardstock, so I'm just trimming it down on the 11.5 side to 10 inches, or it would be 10.5 because I did it for an inch. So now it's 8.5 by 10.5, and it fits perfectly there. I am going to move it a little bit more to the right. I believe on the sketch it's centered, but I wanted to show more of that on the left, how it has that really pretty dress mannequin, I don't know what they're called, and that little floral thing on the bottom. So I wanted to keep that as much as possible. So I grabbed another pattern piece of paper from that kit and I cut that down an inch shorter than the black one, so that makes it 7.5 by 9.5. And you see how I cut that paper? And so I'm going to use my T-square ruler, and I'm going to adhere those 2 pieces underneath the black. So like I mentioned, nobody knows that that really is not a full piece or a full strip of pink patterned paper. That is considered pattern because it does have a little bit of an ombre effect, and it was again part of the same scrapbooking kit. So these are a couple of the pictures. Now the sketch calls for 2 horizontal pictures, or 6 by 4, however you want to call it. I have the one, and then I have those wallet size pictures that are on that bottom right, and I do that by just going to my local Walgreens, and I'm sure you can do this any photo processing, and I use the collage print option, and I use the 4 by 6 as the base. And if you put 2 pictures on there, it's about wallet size. Obviously they're a little bit smaller because you see there's a border, but if you add more pictures, they adjust to even smaller, etc. So it's kind of nice if you want some variation of photo sizes onto your layouts. Now I hope you subscribe to my channel, but you'll notice that I do that a lot because there are a lot of pictures that you don't necessarily need a huge 4 by 6 piece of paper picture of, so that makes it really fun, a good variety. So within that kit, there's these punch out little cardstock embellishments. There's also a sticker sheet, which I'll grab in a little bit too, but I just kind of popped out stuff that I thought would work. Now this paper pack, again, it has a lot of like pretty pink, things like that, and I just really kind of jumped all over that theme. Like I mentioned before, I don't do a whole lot of pink and pretty, so it's kind of funny, which pink is my favorite color. And these cutout cards are a piece of paper that I've had in my stash forever. On the backside was just like a black script or white background with black script paper, and it matched perfectly for this layout as well. So I'm just going to use one of those cards as the base for my journaling, which is the one I'm pointing at right now. I really am concentrating on that bottom section with those really pretty florals. Now I probably should have covered up the Sunday through Saturday initials, but I couldn't cover it up, or in my mind, I couldn't cover it up where it looked pretty. So I'm fine with how it looks, and you'll see the final result. I think you will be too. So again, I'm using those just embellishments, and I'm just playing around because that's the fun of scrapbooking, right? Grabbing all the pretties and then playing around with it. I punched that one card into a circle because on the sketch, there's that circle that's tucked into that corner. And I'm going to create a cluster from on there, and also on that top left I have that one cut out, and I am going to use that as my title. Right now I feel like everything's just kind of being absorbed by all the other pattern papers, so you'll see in a little bit what I do to offset that. And again, there's that sticker sheet, and there's just all these quotes and pink stuff that just talks about being pretty, or being happy, but blah 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 blah. But it's really fun. I'm just having so much fun just going through the embellishments because, like I said, super girly. But anyhow, let me talk a little bit about this YouTube hop. So there is a group on Facebook called Peace Craft Love, and she promotes this Iron Crafter Challenge, which is on the third Friday of every month. And earlier in the month, they'll tell you which product that you should be crafting with. And the idea is to kind of dip into your stash and use your things, not to go out and buy those particular products. I mean, obviously you can do that if you choose, but that's not the purpose of the hop. And so you create a layout using that item. And then, of course, there's this hop. So within the information box, I'll have a link to my blog, which will have all that blob, oh my goodness, all that hop information with all the different participants. And it'll also have, within the information box will also be links to all the different participants. So please make sure you go and you hop along and check out all these really fun layouts that everybody is going to be creating. I also, like I mentioned, this is a sketch by Sketch and Scrap. So I'll also have their link to both their blog and their Facebook group in the information box, because if you like sketches as much as I do, which I'm learning to love them so much because it really does help, especially when you're like kind of in a creative rut and you just need a starting or a jump off point. Sketches are the best solution for that. And, it's just kind of a way to add some paper onto your cardstock, and like I said, just a little jump off point, because sketches are meant to inspire. You don't necessarily have to follow it exactly. You could just be inspired by one section and just go from there. Or in most cases, to be honest with you, I do follow the sketches pretty closely. The only difference is a lot of times I'll add more photos than what is in a sketch, because I do love multiple photo layouts. And if you are not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button, because if you go back and look at my layouts, majority of the layouts have multiple photos. I really like to concentrate on the photos, play with the embellishments that I have, and really, like I said, showcase the photos and the story of the situation. So please make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. I do post at least 2 videos a week, and one is always scrapbooking. The other item is whatever it is I'm creating in the command center, and the command center is the name of my craft room and also the name of my blog. Again, the link will be down in the information box, as well as all the other information that I've been chatting on about. So as I'm chatting along, you're watching me, and I'm just trying to figure out these clusters. I by grabbing some of the embellishments that I chose earlier, I'm really trying to make things work without seeming too clustered or overwhelming. One of the things I like to do when I'm creating clusters is I think that, and this is my opinion, but I think it looks nicer if everything touches, overlaps, and it could just be one little tiny corner. But I feel like if you put too much space between the embellishments, it really just looks like uncoordinated, I guess. It doesn't look like it's supposed to be there, and it just looks kind of wild. So you'll notice when I'm laying things down, again, I'm overlapping, I'm, touching. Everything is at least touching or butting up to each other. And like if you look at the circle, I punched that the 3x4 card into a circle, and it said I love you, and it had this really pretty lacy kind of flower thing. I really wasn't concentrating on the I love you words. I mean, I kept them there because that was just another element, but if you look to that circle over there on that right, you can't read it, and that's okay because, again, I wasn't really concentrating on the words I love you. It just happened to color coordinate, if you want to call it that. And so by adding those, that flat bottom button, I can't say Flair because it's not a Flair button, but and then those stickers and just the other little cardstock cutouts, everything, like I said, either touches or overlaps, or you could see there how I'm tucked it in, tucked it under, those kind of things. I think it just helps visually, and you can tell that it's like one element versus 5 different ones all just happen to be in the same area. But I hope you agree. I think that makes sense. I think, again, you're just trying to do something that's visually pleasing, and it visually pleasing without being overwhelming, because I'm looking at this page and I'm thinking, wow, there's a lot going on. But I think with keeping the colors coordinated and, like I said, the clusters close, it just all works. And there is a lot going on because even those pictures, oh my God, this place, I don't know if anybody who's watching is from California or even have the opportunity to go to somewhere like Pismo Beach. This was just off the side of the freeway. My husband and I were driving by, and we were kind of laughing. Oh, Madonna, this must be the singer Madonna's place where she stays. Of course, that is not it. But, so we were just kind of laughing. That's strange, the name, blah, blah, blah. And then we just decided on the way back home, instead of passing it by on the way home, we decided to, hey, let's just take a detour and check it out. And we had breakfast there, and it was so pretty. It was just so pretty. That's all I could say. It's just so pretty. And I was really happy that we decided to stop there. But anyhow, there goes all my rambling. So I'm just going to let you enjoy the rest with some music, and I'll pop up in just a second. Thank you so much for watching.